Hello everyone, so in this video let us talk about the third problem from the latest weekly contest 388 from LeetCode. The problem name is shortest uncommon substring in an array. So as you can see, you are given an array ARR of size n consisting of non-empty strings, as you can see here. So you are given some non-empty strings in an array ARR. Find the string array answer of size n such that answer of I is the shortest substring of ARR that does not occur as a substring in any other strings in ARR. If multiple such substring exist, answer of I should be the lexicographically smallest one. If no substring occurs, you have to put the answer of I. So what you can see here is that in simple terms, if I told you, you have to find for every string a substring of this string that does not occur as a substring of any other strings possible in the array. Also, if you have to find out the substring that is the smallest length possible, if there are multiple smallest length possible substrings, you have to choose the one that is the lexicographically smallest one. That's the complete law, like the complete question problem. You have to print out that. And if nothing exists, so let's say A, as you can see here, like A exists as a substring here, so that is not possible. D exists as a substring here, and AD exists as substring here, which means that like nothing is possible here. So you just have to check that whether any substring of a string is possible, that doesn't exist as a substring of any other string, and the complete thing exists at like that. The complete length is pretty much small, and the array length is also very small. Okay, so the length of the string is also like up till 20, and the maximum strings I can have is very 100, like only 20. So if I just go in the very brute force way, like if I just think of a very brute force way, I can do it in O of n cube or of n cube log n, something like that. So I already get some idea that I can do it in a very brute force way. So what you have to first do is that I will first try to store, because the complete constraints are also very small. I can first store the substrings, all the substring of all these strings in some sort of a structure, such as set. Okay, such that I have all the unique substrings of all these strings stored somewhere, so that I can iterate over every substring and check that whether every substring is any substring possible that doesn't exist as a substring of any other string. So because I can store it in some sort of a data such as set, what I can do it, I can like search it in O of log n. O of log n. That is very much beneficial for me, so that I can find out all the substrings of every string possible and store it in some sort of a set. Okay, and then for every substring possible that is unique, that is stored inside a set because it will store unique elements, I will find out the ones that is not present in all the other strings as its substrings, and if I find it one, I will just store it inside some array and just print out them. So it's pretty much simple, as the observation part is pretty much simple. Why? Because the constraints are pretty much small, so you can do this in a very brute force way. The only thing is implementation, how you will implement it. So, and why I've divided it into two parts, because I have to first find out every substring. So every substring, find out for every string. So every string, which is, so I will do a for loop for every string, so which is O of n, and then for every string find out all the substring, which is O of n square, so which is O of n cube already. So I have to first find out all the substrings of every string. That is one thing, that is one task that has to be done. If I try to increase the time complexity of this one more time, then it will become very absurd. That is not possible. So that's why find out all the smaller chunks that can be stored and used, which is under time complexity, and then try to reuse that. So nothing was complicated. The only thing that you have to see is that in set, if we store all these substrings of these complete strings, it will be stored in the lexicographically smallest order to the smallest to the largest. But we don't actually have to store in that manner. We have to store in such a manner that I will take every string, and then we have to find out the one that is the smallest one, and then if there are two smallest one, then choose by the lexicographically smallest one. So you have to add the comparator function here, comparator function for the set. Okay, it's pretty much simple as well. And if you write down that, then it is pretty much simple, the straightforward implementation. Let's move on to the code part now, because the logic is not very difficult. So where the code starts, it starts from here, the shortest substring. So what we have done is that we have created a vector of sets. Why a vector of sets? Because we have an array. So for every string in the array, we have to find out all the substrings and store it inside some set. So we have created for every string inside this ARR, store it all the substring inside the set, which has a comparator function. The comparator function is written here such that if we have two strings, we have to first choose the one that is of the smaller length. If there are two strings of the same length, then choose the one that is of the lexicographically smallest one. That will done by the custom comparator function. That will be done here, and then we have these sets available here with these n sets. Now for every possible string possible, iterate over all the substring possible using these two for loops and just insert all the substrings inside this ith vector set. Okay, now we have a vector of sets, and every set has all the substrings of a complete string there stored. Now we have a vector of answer that will be all initialized with empty strings because the base default answer is empty strings. Now what we'll do is that the idea is that iterate over every possible substring of a particular string. So for every possible string, iterate over all the substrings. So for every string, iterate over all the substring because the substrings is stored in v of I for every. So this is v of I. The ith vector is a set of all the substrings. So I'm iterating over auto keyword using all the substrings, and they are already sorted in using the comparator function according to our logic, so that we are taking it in the right order that we have to print out as well. So we'll take out the strings one by one, which is the first, the smallest one, and if there are two smallest one, then pick the one that is the lexicographically smallest one. Pick the every possible substring. Then for every possible substring, we have to check that whether that substring is already present in any of the other substrings of all the other strings. So what we have to do is that we have to iterate over all the other strings possible in the same array. Now what we have to do is that we have to just ensure that we just don't count the string that we are talking about. So if we are the ith string, let's say there are 5 strings. For this string, let's say the first string, we have to check that what is the substring that is not present in the other strings. So in the other string, which means that it should not include this string, because the substring we're talking about is already present inside this string already, because we're talking about this substring. So we should not include this. Include the other substrings, excluding that. So the other substring we're talking about, all the other substrings, like not including the ith string that we're talking about. So if what we have seen is that if that particular substring is present in any of the other strings, a substring will break out that it is bad. If it is not present inside, so let's say talking about any substring, that is, let's say AB. If AB is not present inside this string, we'll count it. Let's say this is so for the ith, for this string, all the substrings is stored in v of k, because vector of ith, the ith vector is storing out the all the substrings of, like all the substring as a set inside the set of this particular substring, like of this string which is stored here. So we'll just check that using this function, that whether it is present inside this set or not. If it is not present, we'll increment the count that we have checked that it is not present. So we just in the end have to check that if the if that particular substring is not present in all the other substrings. So if there are n strings, and if it is not present in all the other string, which is n minus 1 string, it should not be present. So if the total means that how many strings it is not present, if the total it is not present is equal to n minus 1, which means that it is not present in all the other n minus 1 strings, because we are not including the current string. So which means that that particular substring we're talking about for the ith string is not present in all the other strings as a substring, and then that is a very good thing. So we'll take that particular substring that we're talking about, which is stored here. So we'll take that and store it inside the ith value, because that we have to print out, and then we'll break, because we have found out the very smallest, lexicographically smallest one. So we should not iterate over any other string, because we have found the answer. We just break out, and we'll continue with the next string, find out all the other substrings. For that substring, check that whether any substring is possible that is not present as a substring of any other strings. And in the end, we have the answer. So it's not much difficult as a logical perspective, but it is difficult as the writing perspective of the code part now. But if you have gone through the code, if you have written a lot of code, it's not much difficult as well. So if you still have any doubts, you can mention in the comment box for this particular video. I will see you in the next one. Till then, keep coding and bye.